next year now. Friends, who are on the 28th of Shvat today, it marks the Hilula of a former Rishon Lezion, chief rabbi of Israel. His name was Harav Chaim Nissim Abulafia, Zecher Tzadik Libracha, a great rabbi that will become the 25th Rishon Lezion in Israel in of itself. Was a great rabbi of Tiberias, we're going to learn about. He was the chief rabbi of Jerusalem. And let's explore a few of the highlights of his life. Now, he was born in English year 1795 in Tiberias. Remember, Tiberias was one of the four holy cities of Israel, as long with Jerusalem, Hebron, and Tzfat, respectively. So it was very, very prominent, grown up into, let's say, a very, very holy city. And very much he would be among the great children, the great of the rabbinic dynasty of the Abulafia family. I believe he was the son of Rabbi Chaim Abulafia Hasheni, another great rabbi. Remember, it was a rabbinic family that was very, very illustrious and very, very famous also all throughout Jewish history. So I believe he would serve as a rabbi for a certain specific window of time in Damascus, but naturally we would know that he would serve the majority of his time in Tiberias as a rabbi. Now, it was reported over that there was a great earthquake, let's just say, B'ri'idat ha'adamah ha'gdolah, that was in the land of Israel, I think in the year 1837. So that point in time was about 42 years of age, and very much a lot of people suffered from it. There was a lot of casualties and a lot of repercussions, health-wise and just in general, just social-wise in of itself. Reported over his leg was broken, and he suffered a pain, unfortunately, sadly, for the rest of his life because of this. He was known for his extreme humility. He was very, very humble and well-likable, and was very, very much great in stature. Now, I believe his son-in-law will become the famous Harav Samach Gagin, who happened to be the son of Rabbi Chaim Avram Gagin. Very, very a good, illustrious family. So the Gagin family we've spoken about on various occasions before. And what's interesting is, I believe that among his, let's just say his descendants include Shlomo Abulafia, Rav Shlomo Abulafia, who will become one of the founders, let's just say, of the city of Tel Aviv. Actually, I'm not too sure if he was a rabbi or not, but it was someone that had like a very famous personality. Let's just say Rabbi Shlomo Abulafia actually had in of itself. I believe he actually himself passed away in the year 1909. Shlomo Abulafia did in of itself, but he was very well connected. And one thing we can add about the Abulafia family, I believe they were descended from Spain originally, so from the possibly the Spanish Inquisition time period, but I'd have to double check that. He would become the rabbi of Tiberias, which brought a huge amount of responsibilities, not just for him, just for everyone inside the locale in itself. It's reported over as a rabbi of Tiberias, he went to the commander, let's say, of the Turkish army at one stage in time in Sidon to demand protection for the Jewish residents of Tiberias and the Galilee. Let's just say because there was a worry of all the rioters that could come about at that point in time. There was anti-Semitism all throughout Jewish history. And some of them might have taken over the Jewish homes at that point in time or stole their property. And there was, let's just say, Ibrahim Pasha at that point in time lost control of the region to the Sultan. And obviously there was various different dramatic and side effects, let's just say, to this with regards to that, especially, let's just say, over there, we said how the Jewish residents of Tiberias and Galilee from local writers who had taken over the Jewish homes. And let's just say there was a worry of the stolen properties. There was Ibrahim Pasha, let's just say, would later on lose control to the region, to the Sultan. And as a result, after that, soldiers were sent to protect them. After he turned 50 years of age, he would eventually move to Jerusalem. But however, until after the death, let's say, of the Roshon Lezion, Rabbi Yitzchak Kovo, who was another great rabbi, great Roshon Lezion, who we mentioned about on various occasions before, and very famous Shluchei Drabanan, who he was the 24th one. So it will be Rabbi Chaim Nissim Abulafia will actually take his place within regards to that position after the previous one did. It's actually Rabbi Yitzchak Kobo was a great rabbi also who was at his time period, and I believe he would have a position of 6.5 years at the pinnacle in of itself. It's actually interesting. Rabbi Nissim Abulafia would actually very much support the establishment of general schools, despite, I think at that point in time, there was a boycott declared by the Ashkenazim Rabbanim in Jerusalem against, let's just say, these kind of schools in of itself. He would author various different Torah colossal books. However, I don't believe it was published in his lifetime. The name of 3 books that was mentioned, I think that will be mentioned on his tombstone, also including Kara Hana, the Arish Svi, and Sevet Chaim. Very interesting enough. That was books that was named after. I would recommend everyone to look into that. I believe that Rabbi Mordechai Navon would print a book, let's say of Teshuvot at a later stage. He happened to be himself a great rabbi and a Kabbalist, Rabbi Mordechai Navon. So there was a close connection over there, especially within regards to printing and documenting like different laws in of itself. Now he was buried in Har Zaitim and passed away on 28th Shvat in the year 1961. So we are talking about, friends, about 65 years ago, approximately, around that kind of period. Since then, maybe slightly shorter actually, because we happen to be in the year 2015. Friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of Yasir. We spoke about Rishon Lezion today, which is very, very prominent position. Rabbi Chaim, Nissim, Abulafia. One other interesting thing we could point out was that after his position as, let's just say, the Rishon Lezion, which was obviously a great position, one that we haven't really spoken about too much before, but very much we should say, he would get all these special things. Was to be the Rishon Lezion in his period was a grandiose, let's just say, term in of itself. Rabbi Chaim David Hazan would actually take his place at a later stage in time. He happened to be also the head of the Jewish court in Izmir, in Turkey, which was an epicenter at that point in time for real great Torah fellowship. So please don't forget to light candles in the memory of Rabbi Chaim Nissim Abulafia. We are a community. Please, everyone, watch the channel, watch the videos, subscribe to the channel, and if you happen to be related to any of the great rabbis, please send an email. I would love to hear more. If you feel anyone would be interested in watching these videos, share the videos to other people and spread Torah knowledge and Chachamim and the great rabbis of yesteryear. Wishing you all